Your website needs to give a prospective visitor a reason to click, a reason to read, a reason to join your email, and a reason to do it again every single day. It's a tall order. It's a lot different than it used to be with search, right? Search, as long as your title matched what somebody was searching for, they visited. It was really easy. All right, it's a lot different. Now, I'm going to get into it in this video about, I think, Cinch HCU, which was definitely challenging, and it's still challenging in many ways. But if you look around, I'm going to show you where to look. I'm going to show you, explain what I'm doing. There are some unbelievable opportunities right now. Okay, if you're into online publishing or online anything for that matter. Okay, I understand a lot of people have left publishing. I don't blame them. It's not as easy or as, in some cases as fun as it used to be. It is more challenging. But if you're online, there are some opportunities that are just ridiculous. Okay, but I want to talk about email newsletter because it's, in my view, still a really terrific opportunity. It's growing for me, and just you need to find the content that people want every single day, and that's a hard thing to do. But if you figure it out, it's going to be a great business. I had a situation where I was publishing kind of sections of different articles, and I still do. In fact, I have a lot of different sections now. The longer it goes, the more I'm publishing every day. But I had one section that wasn't performing very well, just wasn't getting the clicks, and so I decided to ditch it. And after about 3 days, a woman emailed me and said, you used to publish such and such, and that's why I really liked your email newsletter. And I thought, wow, that's awesome. I was fairly early in the newsletter, so I was super happy to hear that, because here's somebody who's taking the time to email me and saying, I really like that. So even though it wasn't the most successful content, I put it back in. And that turned out to be a really good decision, because that content is ultimately now performing really well elsewhere on other channels. And that was, it was kind of a new thing I was doing back then. I just thought I'd do it in the newsletter. So that turned out to be a really good thing. And the lesson I learned from that is, content that somebody really likes and they're willing to read it every day, and not just read it. Like, I'm not putting the content in its entirety in the newsletter. People got to click. They got to click to the website. There's a big difference between somebody opening email and clicking. As I've learned, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it is true. I open a lot of emails, I don't click. And I think we all do. It's just, there's this thing, right? And so if you can manage to get people to do the click, that's a big deal. And so, that's when you find something that email readers are willing to click, that content is very likely going to be able to work elsewhere. And so I was really happy that she emailed me. That one email made a big difference, because that content is still very successful to this day. All right. So I know you can't please all the people all the time, and don't try to, because it's not going to happen. But you do have to please enough of the people, enough of the time, to make the newsletter successful, or wherever it is that your content is going to, and that you're distributing and trying to get eyeballs to your website. All right. Another thing that I do regularly, I don't want to say daily, but I would say, I got these new glasses, they keep falling down, is I read my website, my own website, not as an editor or publisher. I guess I never take that hat off, but as a visitor. And I do it on desktop, I do it in mobile, and I read the email and I click the emails. Not every day, I'd say once a week. And I just want to see what it's like. How fast is the site loading, especially like on the phone? What are things looking like? Where are the ads showing up? Just looking as a visitor, trying to get ideas. I'm looking for ways to improve it always, and both, get rid of stuff or make changes because it's bad, or looking for opportunities to make it good. And the rest of this video/podcast I want to dedicate to making it good, because right now, and this is where our insane amount of opportunities come into play, and that is, I can't even type an HTML link from memory to this day, and I've been publishing websites for over a decade. But thanks to AI, I can code plugins, like any plugin I want, for the most part. I mean, not something insanely complex, but that can do really cool stuff. I can have AI code it for me with just typing sentences that are basically what we call them prompts, instructing what it is I want. Now, there is a back and forth. I'm not saying it comes out perfect with the first prompt. There's back and forth, and you got to test it, and sometimes that can be frustrating. But at the end of the day, I'm actually creating software and tools for my own website. And let me give you an example of a very simple thing that I did that basically Claude punched this out. Now I use Claude. There's lots of them out there. There's like Cursor, which seems a little bit complex for me, but I haven't really spent any time with it. There's obviously ChatGPT, there's Replete, there's Lovable, and there's probably a whole bunch of others I never heard of, but you can try them all and play around with it. For me, Claude works really well. Anyway, this is really simple. What I wanted is I wanted to put this little box thing that I had created, all right, with some links in it, and I wanted to show up before every six heading 2 or heading 3 in all the blog posts in a particular category. Now, there's no plugin I know that can put ads on a site that can do that surgical, right? But Claude spit it out. I think it did it like first try. And I took it and I put it in a code snippet. It wasn't a plugin. It didn't need to be a plugin. It was not even that much code, right? And I just put it in code snippet and it worked. Okay, that was one example. Now think about that one example. Think about the potential, the way you can surgically present ads, offers, email signups, content upgrades, etc., its tools, etc., 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 directly within a particular page or tag or category, anywhere you want within the website with one little sentence prompt. All right, let me give you another example. All right, let's say you're in the food arena. All right, you could create, and let's say you had this really cool affiliate offer for air fryers. All right, or maybe it's an air fryer component or something. I don't know. Let's say your content serves people who have air fryers or cooking air fryer food. They want ideas. You have this affiliate offer that works well with people who own air fryers. Maybe you have a recipe book. I don't know. You want to get it right in front of them. All right. So what you do is you can prompt basically, I want to put this little code, this ad, whatever it is, short code. I want to put it only on articles with the word air fryer in it. I want it to show up after only heading 2s with the word air fryer in it. I guess that's kind of redundant. Wouldn't need the first point. And I want it to only show up at most twice on a particular blog post. And this is only in posts that have the tag small appliance. Okay. You can do that, right? So think about the potential. And it's crazy. And that's why I'm like vibe coding my brains out these days, because I can create stuff like this. I can create faceted search. Okay. Faceted search. I can create like all types based on how I've tagged a site, based on the words in an article. It's like basically search on steroids. I can do that. I can create quizzes. I can create pretty much almost any kind of tool or cool thing on my site that I want. You can insert internal links throughout your website. Now that is a big operation, so I would be probably very careful about how you go about doing that. I was playing around with it, kind of ran into some issues, but it did work. That was the amazing thing. It did work. It's yeah, anyway, that was more complex than I initially thought. But cool little things that will get more page views and create cool things for people. And you can create full-blown software for people, right? You can provide it, you can charge it, or you can make it free. You can do whatever it is that you want, all right? Now, if you're into this, if you're not doing this, you really got to start. It's not that hard. In fact, this stuff is more fun than writing content in my view. I love this stuff. I've like had days just like dedicated toward it. It's you know it's you just want to do more and more and more because it's so cool. It still blows my mind that I can make this stuff, and I really recommend that you do it. If you're wondering like, oh, well, I've heard about AI and the ad networks don't like AI, this is not relevant to that. These are tools. You're creating software for your website. They're only going to like it. You're only helping your website. So don't worry about that. That's nonsense. That's a whole other issue. It has nothing to do with it. All right. So this is basically what the industry is calling vibe coding. And if you're still publishing, and whether it's publishing, whatever it is online, I learned about this initially quite some time ago on X, formerly Twitter. I don't know. Do we still say formerly Twitter? I guess we do. That's why X is difficult name. Anyways, I probably gonna take some heat for saying I read on X because I have in the past, which kind of blows my mind. But anyways, there's all different types of communities there in the various different realms of business. A lot of them are talking about vibe coding, and they're doing some stuff like way beyond anything I'm doing. But you'll learn about it. And you'll learn about the different software that you can use to do this, and the different prompts that people are doing. They're giving away a lot of really cool information about it, and I learned about it from there, and I continue to learn about it. And it's been a huge advantage for my site. Remember, the big publishers don't. I don't even know if they're vibe coding. Are they probably still paying developers, as far as I know? Of course they are. Um, but we have this little advantage as smaller pubs. We don't have to have something vetted by 15 layers of hierarchy before we can deploy something. Right? I want a test, a quiz on a particular category tag. I create it in like 8 minutes. I put up my site all under 10 minutes, and it's going, and I'm getting data and I'm checking it out. And that's how quick I can operate. I really like that. That's my advantage. All right. So I know HCU is tough. I know we've all been talking about HCU. I think it's still talking about it, but there are some really great opportunities right now. You don't even need to be a niche publisher to take advantage of vibe coding. Like there's people creating like whole SaaS with this stuff, like out of from thin air, and putting it and selling it and whatever, or creating tools that get a lot of traffic on their own and putting ads on that. Like there are opportunities that are ridiculously great. So check it out. Um, that's it. Thanks for watching.